Hello everyone, I'm Andrew McNair from Swan Capital and welcome to our April 2025 Swan Report. In this video, we're diving into some of the headlines that have been making waves in the financial markets. And I know there's a lot of information out there and it can feel really overwhelming at times. So let's take a moment to sift through all the financial noise together and discover what these developments really mean for you, your portfolio, and your retirement. So grab a cup of coffee and get comfortable and let's get started. So at Swan Capital, we maintain a cautious market outlook due to global conflicts, increased consumer credit, and evolving trade dynamics between the United States and other nations. Now, this month was rough with volatility. It began to take shape as the showdown between the United States and other nations were talking about trade and tariffs. And this showdown ultimately has become between the United States and China. Now, we probably all saw this showdown coming along eventually, and I guess Mr. Trump has taken it upon himself to finally bring it to fruition. And this is a needed conversation, a heated conversation to have about trade. And it didn't get any more confusing this month when there was a false report that the administration was considering a 90-day pause in the implementation of tariffs. And this was announced prior to the week during President Trump's Liberation Day in the Rose Garden. And that erroneous report reversed a steep plunge earlier this month and markets spiked to positive territory before ultimately taking off. And the interesting thing about fake news is that the fake news turned out to be true. That same week, the president did announce a 90-day pause for everyone on his naughty list except China. Now, instead, the administration doubled down on China with more metaphorical lumps of coal by raising the tariffs to 145%. Now, this 90-day tariff pause led to a furious rally, resulting in the second best day ever for the NASDAQ, 12%, and the third best day for the S&P 500 of 9.5%. We haven't seen a rally like that since 1957, I think, was the best time we've seen the S&P 500 do that in a single day. So this market is dancing to its own tune. The recent jobs and inflation data has been positive, and Trump's big beautiful bill with tax and budget cuts is moving right along. Still, markets don't care right now. The issues currently plaguing the markets are that the bond yields continue to climb, which isn't a positive sign, and yet the market is expecting that the Federal Reserve is going to come to the rescue, that the Federal Reserve is going to cut rates up to 5 times this year. Well, something has to give. Typically, during equity market sell-offs like we've seen, government bond yields usually drop as people pile into those types of assets for safety, but not this time. The dollar is sinking on debt and deficit fears. And if you look at the VIX, the volatile index, it's really also referred to as the fear index, has pulled back from a 5-year high and into the 50s, but it's still very high. And that's a huge red flag after spending most of the past year with the VIX in the teens. So with brief exceptions in August and December, if we see a VIX at 50, that is a red flag. Now, the market's so volatile right now, get this, that Goldman Sachs, the smartest people on Wall Street, have had their brains broken by all the recent activity. First, they called for a recession earlier this month, and then after Wednesday's big rally, they pulled back their recession call. So where does that leave us? Well, the wild card is how all of these things play out with China and how much progress is made. Will China dig its heels in and with its communistic regime try to wait out the American democracy? Will they do that? Or will they get pressure from their new middle class who says and puts pressure on the ruling party and Xi Jinping where they have to start folding and making some headway with Mr. Trump and having these really tough trade conversations? And sadly, we talked about this in the special report that these trade conversations are necessary. We have not been getting a fair shake and a fair trade with the other countries abroad, and we need that to come to a conclusion. So right now, things are moving sadly in the wrong direction. The country's mood has soured over the past few weeks so much that it seems that we've willed ourselves into a recession, at least emotionally and mentally. We keep hearing about soft data, that consumer confidence and consumer sentiment are bad, but we have yet to see an official recession in the hard data, like job declines or negative gross domestic product or GDP. Ever heard of a self-fulfilling prophecy? If you believe something bad will happen, guess what? It will. And that's, I think, what you're seeing alive and well with consumer sentiment. Our view is to not let the propensity of negative news manipulate us into feeling worse. But that's what's happening with consumer sentiment right now as it's tanking. Markets may have had quite enough negativity for a while, and hopefully markets will shake off this negativity and will soon be recovering from all of the volatility that we've seen. Now, if you find yourself feeling a bit nervous, and probably you're not alone, feel free to schedule a review with one of our advisors. We recently sent out a nitrogen check-in, basically just a check-in to see if you as a client have any questions or concerns. And so Brandon and I have been reaching out to clients to answer any questions that you had. Most clients understand with the special update why we're in this situation and what proactively we're doing on behalf of clients. This is the time to make your Roth contributions. This is the time, if you have a 401k, to change its allocations. This is the time to do Roth conversions. And of course, we're reaching out to clients as we speak about taking out your 10% penalty free from various wall accounts to use this as dry gunpowder to buy while the market is very volatile. Now, these are just a few strategies that we're implementing in reviews. And if you feel like you need to push your review forward, feel free to do so, or we'll be calling as scheduled to get you in for your review. Now, what if you're not a client yet? Well, we offer complimentary first visits to families to get a second opinion with no obligation. See, as financial advisors, we're here to guide clients through times such as this, not just the good times, the volatile times. And when I've reached out to families that we've interacted with in the past who watch videos just like this, what I'm hearing over the phone is many families are saying, we're just going to wait it out. We're going to see what happens. Hopefully the markets will return to normal. And again, hope and waiting are not strategies. Your plan should be robust enough to withstand these types of market movements like our clients have been. If it's not, we highly recommend sitting down with one of our advisors to get one of these second opinions. Now, before I wrap up, I'd like to highlight some of the events that we've hosted this month and share some upcoming opportunities. We recently had our college class on Don't Go Broke in Assisted Living that we offer at Pensacola State College. We had a great turnout. Nearly 50 people came to our 2-hour, 2-day class at Pensacola State College, and it was a fantastic time to unpack all the strategies that we help families do to make sure they don't run out of money in assisted living. We're going to hold that class once again in the fall. We also had earlier this month at Jesse's Steakhouse a live event talking about retirement planning and estate planning. And a lot of clients actually brought some of their friends and family members, and it was fantastic to sit down, see familiar faces, and talk about these important topics. Now, looking ahead in May, we're having another one of these events at the Grand Marlin. It's going to be May 20th and May 22nd, specifically designed for your family, colleague, and friends that are closing on retirement, that are already retirees. We'll be covering topics like tax planning, retirement planning, and estate planning. So if you want to be a part of that, please RSVP before they fill up. All you have to do is text or call Laura at 850-380-9558. That's 850-380-9558. That's it for this month's Swan Report, and I want to thank you for listening to our report every month. Now, please remember that nothing we talk about here is a recommendation. However, if you're looking for recommendations to your personal financial situation, I encourage you to schedule a visit so that we can give you one-on-one advice. And we look forward to seeing you next month, and I hope you have a blessed week ahead.